For years, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have been viewed as one of the entertainment industry's most admired couples. Their relationship has often appeared strong, affectionate, and deeply supportive despite the enormous pressures that come with fame. Recently, however, online rumors and dramatic social media headlines began spreading claims that the couple had divorced and that Keith Urban had finally revealed hidden truths about their marriage. These stories quickly gained attention because audiences are naturally fascinated by celebrity relationships, especially ones that seem unusually stable in Hollywood. Yet many of these reports relied heavily on speculation, exaggerated interpretations, and unverified gossip rather than confirmed facts. What made the rumors more believable to some fans was the emotional history the couple openly shared over the years, particularly Urban's struggles with addiction and the sacrifices both made to keep their relationship healthy. Public interest intensified whenever either of them appeared emotional during interviews or award speeches. As discussions continued online, many people began revisiting old interviews, concert moments, and public appearances, looking for signs of tension. The fascination surrounding their marriage reflects how invested audiences became in their story over nearly 2 decades together. Keith Urban's early life and his passion for music. Long before Keith Urban became a global country music star, he was simply a young boy, growing up surrounded by music and ambition. Born in New Zealand before relocating with his family to Australia, Urban developed a deep connection to country music through his father, who introduced him to classic American artists at an early age. Music quickly became more than a hobby. He practiced guitar obsessively, entered local talent competitions, and showed a level of dedication unusual for someone so young. While other children explored different interests, Urban focused intensely on mastering his craft. Those early years shaped both his musical identity and his determination to succeed in a competitive industry. Eventually, like many aspiring country artists, he set his sights on Nashville. Moving there in the early 1990s was a major gamble because success was far from guaranteed. His first attempts were filled with disappointment, financial struggles, and uncertainty. Early projects failed to gain much traction, forcing him to return temporarily to Australia. Yet the dream never disappeared completely. Urban returned to Nashville with renewed focus and gradually built the career that would eventually turn him into one of country music's most recognizable performers worldwide. The private struggles behind public success. Although Keith Urban's professional life was improving, his personal life was becoming increasingly complicated behind the scenes. As his popularity grew, so did the pressures associated with constant touring, industry expectations, and maintaining a public image. During this period, Urban struggled heavily with substance abuse, later admitting that alcohol and drugs had become serious problems in his life. Even when he appeared successful and in control publicly, he privately battled addiction in ways many fans did not fully understand at the time. He entered rehabilitation programs more than once, but years later acknowledged that true recovery required more than simply stepping away temporarily from destructive habits. Urban explained in interviews that he had not fully confronted the deeper emotional causes of his addiction during those early attempts at sobriety. This honesty helped many people better understand the emotional weight he carried into future relationships. By the time his music career truly exploded in popularity, he was still learning how to manage the personal challenges that accompanied fame. These struggles would later become a defining chapter in his marriage to Nicole Kidman, because addiction affects not only the individual, but also everyone emotionally connected to them throughout the recovery process. The unexpected beginning of Keith and Nicole's romance. Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman first met in 2005 at a Hollywood event celebrating Australian talent. According to Kidman, she was immediately interested in Urban, though she later joked that he did not seem nearly as aware of the connection at first. Their early interactions were surprisingly slow for a couple who would eventually become inseparable. Urban reportedly waited months before reaching out after they exchanged contact information. Once communication finally began, however, their relationship developed quickly and intensely. Both had already experienced complicated public lives before meeting each other. Kidman had spent years under enormous media attention following her marriage and divorce from Tom Cruise, while Urban was attempting to stabilize his personal life amid growing fame. Perhaps because they understood the pressures surrounding celebrity relationships, they formed a connection rooted in emotional honesty and mutual understanding. By 2006, the pair became engaged and soon married in Sydney during an intimate ceremony attended by family and close friends. At the time, many observers viewed the relationship as hopeful and refreshing because both seemed genuinely committed to building a lasting partnership. Yet beneath the happiness of the wedding celebrations, challenges were already beginning to emerge that would test their relationship almost immediately after marriage. Addiction, recovery, and the first major test of marriage, only months after their wedding, Keith Urban entered rehabilitation again to address his ongoing battle with addiction. This period became one of the defining moments in the couple's relationship because it forced them to confront an extremely painful reality during the earliest stage of their marriage. Urban later admitted that he feared losing everything, including the relationship itself. Nicole Kidman responded not with public drama or emotional interviews, but with quiet support. She reportedly adjusted work commitments, remained largely silent publicly, and focused on helping her husband through recovery. Many fans later viewed this chapter as proof of the deep loyalty between them. Urban has repeatedly credited Kidman with helping him confront issues he had avoided for years. He described her support as life-changing and often spoke about feeling grateful that she stayed during a period when many relationships might have collapsed entirely. Their ability to survive that difficult chapter became central to how the public viewed them. Instead of appearing like another glamorous celebrity couple, they began to represent resilience and commitment. For years afterward, fans believed the hardest part of their story was already behind them because they had survived one of the most emotionally difficult challenges a marriage can face so early in its existence. The emotional speech that reignited public attention. Public fascination with Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman intensified again after Urban delivered an emotional tribute during an awards ceremony honoring Kidman's career achievements. In his speech, Urban reflected openly on the early struggles in their marriage and acknowledged how close he came to losing everything because of addiction. Unlike many celebrity speeches that feel carefully scripted for publicity, his remarks appeared deeply personal and sincere. He spoke about entering rehab shortly after their wedding and praised Kidman for standing beside him during one of the darkest periods of his life. Audience members reportedly became emotional, and clips of the moment quickly spread online. Fans praised the honesty and vulnerability in his words, interpreting the speech as evidence of a strong emotional bond between them. However, some viewers also wondered whether the emotional intensity hinted at deeper unresolved issues within the marriage. In modern celebrity culture, audiences often search for hidden meanings behind every emotional moment. As clips circulated online, speculation grew rapidly. Some fans interpreted Urban's gratitude as simply heartfelt reflection, while others began questioning whether public declarations of love sometimes emerge when relationships are under strain privately. This speculation became the starting point for renewed gossip surrounding the couple's marriage. Rumors, social media speculation, and public misinterpretation. As often happens with celebrity relationships, online speculation soon expanded beyond reality. Social media users began analyzing concert footage, interviews, and public appearances, searching for evidence that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman were secretly struggling. Some rumors focused on Urban's interactions with fellow performers during tours, especially younger musicians working alongside him on stage. Short video clips circulated widely online, often stripped of context and paired with dramatic captions suggesting hidden romantic tension. Fans dissected body language, facial expressions, and even song lyrics looking for clues. Entertainment blogs amplified the gossip because stories involving celebrity marriages consistently attract large audiences, yet despite all the speculation, no confirmed evidence ever supported claims that Urban had been unfaithful or that the couple had officially divorced. Nicole Kidman also remained characteristically private, refusing to publicly respond to rumors. Ironically, that silence often encouraged even more speculation because audiences sometimes mistake privacy for confirmation. In reality, celebrity couples frequently avoid commenting on gossip simply to prevent further attention. The rapid spread of rumors demonstrated how easily modern social media can transform ordinary moments into sensational stories. A brief stage interaction or emotional interview can quickly become exaggerated into a full narrative that bears little resemblance to verified facts. The pressures that long-term celebrity couples face. Even without scandal or betrayal, long-term relationships can become difficult when both partners maintain demanding international careers. Keith Urban's touring schedule frequently kept him traveling for months at a time, while Nicole Kidman's acting career often required extended filming locations across different countries. Maintaining emotional closeness under those circumstances requires extraordinary effort. Over time, physical distance can slowly reshape communication patterns and emotional routines. Couples may still love each other deeply while struggling to maintain the same level of daily connection they once shared. For celebrities, these pressures become even more intense because private struggles unfold under public scrutiny. Every absence, missed appearance, or emotional interview becomes material for headlines and speculation. Urban and Kidman openly acknowledged over the years that maintaining their marriage required deliberate structure and constant communication. They reportedly avoided long separations whenever possible and prioritized phone calls over text messages to prevent misunderstandings. Urban even described making regular calls during concerts just to remain connected throughout tours. These routines reflected how seriously they approached protecting their relationship. However, even the strongest relationships can experience exhaustion when careers, parenting responsibilities, travel schedules, and public attention continuously pull people in different directions. The pressures may not destroy love itself, but they can gradually reshape how relationships function over time. Family life and the effort to maintain stability. Despite intense public attention, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman consistently attempted to prioritize family life above celebrity culture. Their daughters became a central focus in how they structured work schedules and personal decisions. Kidman often spoke about balancing acting with motherhood, explaining that family responsibilities sometimes influenced which projects she accepted. Urban similarly emphasized the importance of maintaining emotional connection while touring. Together, they appeared determined to create stability for their children, despite living highly public lives. Friends and colleagues frequently described them as protective parents who worked hard to separate family life from media attention. This dedication contributed significantly to the public perception that their marriage was unusually grounded compared to many Hollywood relationships. They were rarely involved in public conflicts, tabloid feuds, or dramatic scandals. Instead, they cultivated an image centered on privacy, loyalty, and emotional support. However, maintaining that image likely required enormous effort behind the scenes. Parenting while balancing international careers can create emotional fatigue even in ordinary circumstances. For public figures constantly photographed and discussed online, the challenge becomes even more complicated. While many fans admired their discipline and commitment, others wondered whether the constant pressure to appear stable publicly may have added additional strain privately over the years. Separating facts from fiction about divorce claims. One of the most important details often overlooked in sensational online stories is that many claims surrounding Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman's supposed divorce remain unverified. Headlines frequently present speculation as confirmed truth because dramatic narratives attract attention and generate clicks. Stories describing confessions, secret betrayals, or hidden crises often rely on anonymous sources, edited clips, or exaggerated interpretations of emotional interviews. In reality, celebrity relationships are usually far more complicated and nuanced than internet gossip suggests. Public appearances reveal only small fragments of people's private lives. While Urban has spoken openly about past struggles, addiction recovery, and the emotional challenges of marriage, none of those admissions automatically confirm divorce rumors. Fans sometimes interpret vulnerability as evidence of relationship collapse, when it may simply reflect honesty and maturity. This situation demonstrates how quickly misinformation can spread when audiences become emotionally invested in celebrity narratives. Once a rumor gains momentum online, repetition often makes it seem credible, even without reliable evidence. The fascination surrounding Urban and Kidman reflects broader cultural curiosity about love, fame, and long-term commitment. People want explanations when admired relationships appear vulnerable, because those relationships often symbolize hope, stability, or resilience in the public imagination. Why their story continues to fascinate audiences, whether facing challenges privately or simply navigating the normal difficulties of marriage under intense public attention, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman continue to capture public fascination because their relationship feels emotionally real to many people. Unlike carefully manufactured celebrity romances built entirely around publicity, their story has included visible hardship, honesty, recovery, vulnerability, and long-term commitment. Urban's openness about addiction and Kidman's consistent support created a narrative audiences deeply connected with over the years. Even rumors surrounding them attract attention because fans have invested emotionally in the idea that their marriage represented something rare in Hollywood. Ultimately, relationships are shaped by countless private moments outsiders never fully see or understand. Public speculation may continue whenever either star gives emotional interviews or spends time apart due to work commitments. But much of what circulates online remains interpretation rather than confirmed reality. Their story also reflects how modern celebrity culture blurs the line between genuine emotional connection and public entertainment. Audiences analyze relationships almost like ongoing dramas, searching constantly for hidden meanings and secret turning points. Yet behind every headline are two real people balancing careers, family, personal struggles, and public expectations. That complexity is precisely why interest in Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman's relationship remains so strong even after all these years.